I saw a video with Lance Berkman, and he was talking about the benefits of the tee and the way to use it properly. And so today we're going to kind of go over some of the things that he hit on so that we learn what to do, what not to do with the tee, and also to learn what your bat path tendencies are, and that should iron out some things with our swing. So first of all, I like to keep the ball, or the tee rather, placed on the outer portion of the plate here, right on the front. And from there, that's my favorite position to drive the ball back up the middle. When the ball is in this way, I find myself turning, rolling over a little bit. If you're going to be hitting the ball back up the middle, which I recommend you do primarily off the tee, then move that tee to the outer portion of the plate and work from there. Now, once we got the ball there, it should be our goal to hit balls with backspin to the back of the net, okay? So this is first swing of the day, but let's see what we got. Perfect. So that's a backspun ball to the back of the net. Now, what the tee can tell us are several things. So go ahead and bring the camera around to the back here. And I'm going to show you some bat path tendencies off of the tee and how you can recognize them for yourself. So if you're hitting off the tee and you notice that this ball right here, specifically this outside pitch, is going on the ground to the pull side, then that's telling us that our swing is either too up through the zone, causing that roll over to the pull side, or it's telling us that our bat path, our barrel is cutting across this way. So if that's you, here's how we fix that. I want you to imagine a line going from your back foot to the tee, and that's the line that I want you to imagine your hands are working on down to the baseball. So to demonstrate, working in to out, and that should fix that rollover or correct that issue. Now, another issue that I've seen off the tee, again, all working from the same position, is this one right here, which is a flare to the opposite field. Now, when we are rolling over, a lot of times we're working up or our barrel's too high, and that causes the rollover. Now, this is the opposite. This is where our barrel's too steep, and we're inside outing that pitch to the opposite field, and we get that side spin on the baseball. So if you find yourself inside outing the ball up into the top of the net on the opposite side, then this is the adjustment that you need to make. So if you find yourself doing that, I want you to think about taking your hands on a diagonal line down through to the baseball. So again, if you're rolling over, we work in to out. If you are flaring the ball inside to out, we're working down through the baseball. So that was my last swing. Now we're going to try to backspin one up the middle. Still got on top of it. Now we overcorrected, right? That was a rollover. So now let's see if we can correct the other way now, working into out. And that's backspun right up the middle. That's perfect. So ideally off of the tee, that's what we want. We want that nice backspin trajectory to the back of the net. There's plenty of ways we can use this tee. A lot of times I move it to the back here, work on deep tee, I'll work it out to the front, extended tee, but the optimal, like, feel good, get comfortable swing, like the swings that I take right before I go into the game, are almost exclusively right here on the outer portion of the plate, and I'm trying to backspin the ball up the middle to the back of the net. Now, one more thing to note. Every cage is different. My cage is about 80 feet long, okay? So for me, if I hit the top of the net a little bit before the back net, that's totally fine. That's a great swing. Some cages are only about 30 feet long. So if you're hitting the top of the cage in, say, a 30-foot cage, realize that's a lot more of a pop-up. So keep in mind the length of your cage, as that will determine what part of the net we're going for. What I've found to be best is about a 15-degree launch angle off of the tee. If you can get a 15-degree launch angle off of the tee, then that will often translate to maybe a 20, 25-degree launch angle in the game, which is generally the most optimal launch angle to get hits. So if you happen to have access to a Rapsodo or Blast Motion or anything like that, or the Diamond Kinetic sensor that tells you your attack angle or your launch angle, I would shoot for about 15 degrees on all of these swings, and that should result in those backspun line drives to the back of the cage. So to recap, again, if you're cutting across the ball this way, we want to think about working in to out. If you are flaring and inside outing the ball, we want to think about taking the hands, or the knob rather, down to the baseball. So as always, I'm Coach RAC with Headbanger Sports, and we'll see you guys next week.